Hello, Candy. Sweeten up your daily life with Candice told me.
Hi friends, I'm Candy and you are tuned into Hello Candy. Welcome to my podcast show where I chat to friendly professionals, mainly in the field of showbiz. Today is an exciting one because we are chatting to Israeli-Danish actress, model and producer Miss Levi. Hi Lee, welcome.
Hello Candy, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. So nice to speak to you today.
You as well. I've been very excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. I've been very excited because it's always nice to speak with someone from Israel. You know, I miss Israel a lot, so it's very, very nice to speak with.
I've got the Israel in me. I've got the South Africanness, like your fiance. So it's a good combination.
Exactly.
So, first question for you is, what did you dream of becoming as a young girl? And do you feel like you are living out your dreams?
So I grew up on an island in Denmark with only 650 people. So I grew up in a very small community where there was like nothing but like nature. But I always because there was nothing to do, I was always in my room dancing to music, and my dream was to become a dancer. So when I was about 13, my parents sent me to boarding school in Denmark, and I stayed there for 2 years. And that was when I really discovered my true love for dancing. And this boarding school was specializing in sports and in dancing and gymnastics. So I just discovered how happy and how much in love I was with that profession. And so I started dancing when I was 13. And then when I was 16, I moved to Cambridge in UK to study performing arts. And that was on the next level of what I did in the boarding school, of course. And I really discovered how hard it was. But it was I lost after these 2 years in Cambridge, I lost my passion for dance. And I guess I moved into acting then. And well, you can say that acting and dancing goes hand in hand. In a way, it's performing arts, but I always wanted to be a dancer when I was younger. But acting was also, what I really found interesting. And so when I was 18, I moved to Los Angeles and started acting school over there.
Wow, you're a teenager.
Yeah, I know. I have experienced a lot. So I was auditioning for a few acting schools in Los Angeles. I got into a few of them. So I went to study at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And then I went to the Lee Strasberg Institute. And I was there for 3 years. And after that, I moved to Israel. And I would definitely say that I am living my dream. I really am. I feel very blessed. But also the fact that I grew up with parents who always supported what I wanted to do. And they never stopped me from following my dreams. So I feel that I'm very lucky.
That's awesome. How do you feel that you navigated your career path from when you started until now?
Well, I think I went in the right way, definitely by going to boarding school, because my parents thought it was really important to send me to boarding school to be more independent and to be more independent. Also because I was struggling as a kid. I was very, very shy. Very shy. I'm not it's out of this world. I could barely speak. So them, it was I had to go there, and I was the youngest girl in school. And it was I was crying every night for 2 years. But it was worth it because when I finished there, I felt like I was ready to grab the world, and I knew what I wanted to do. And I think I have gone in the right path to answer your question. And of course, everything takes time. I think that every achievement is an achievement, and there's so much more I want to do. There's so much more dreams I have. But step by step, it's about having patience.
Step by step. That's awesome. So moving to Israel after studying in LA and growing up in Denmark, how did you adapt to life here and establish yourself?
Yeah, that is so, like, I love answering that question, because whenever people ask me, like, how is life like in Israel compared to Denmark? And I'm always like, it's like black and white. It's totally different countries. Like, you can compare them, because Denmark, you grow up with, it's interesting, because I always find the culture in Denmark, like, I'm very proud to be from Denmark and I love Denmark, but I find the culture to be very, like, we have something in Denmark called the law of Janteloven, that's what you call it. And it means that everybody in the society is equal and you can't really be better than anyone else and stuff like that, like, everybody is equal. You can't show that you're better and this and that. So I grew up with that. And I remember when before I moved to Cambridge, all my friends back home, they were like, they didn't understand why I was not following the path that everybody else were going, in terms of education and going to college and this and that, So it was like out of the ordinary in a way that I was following my dreams. Mm-hmm. And especially in the entertainment world, that's like, so Israel is completely different, because the people there, it's like everybody, people are happy for you if you are successful. I mean, most people are, but people are always striving for more and more in Israel, like, it can also be a bad it can also be a bad thing, because people will step on each other to achieve success, but in many ways, like, there's no limits to success and your dreams. If you want to do something, I mean, Israel, there's so many entrepreneurs and people really strive for success in Israel. What I find really
when you moved to Israel, did you know people in the entertainment industry, or did you have to make all these connections?
No, I didn't know anyone when I moved to Israel. I had one childhood friend from there, a girl, because I used to go to Israel every year since I was born, with my family. And I felt that Israel is really the place that makes me the most happy. Like, there's something about that place, it really makes me happy. So I decided to move there after Los Angeles, because I didn't feel that Los Angeles was amazing. And, studying acting, but something was missing in my life. It was like, I felt empty in a way. So as soon as I came to Israel, I mean, all the doors just opened up. I moved there with a girlfriend, my best friend from Denmark back then. And we decided just to stay for 6 months. But then, I mean, and she went back to Europe after that. But I just ended up staying. And then my career started to take off. And then everything followed.
So moving on, thank you. That was a very, very interesting answer. If you could give your younger self some advice, some career advice, what would it be?
Yeah, so I have been thinking about that. I think that if I could give myself a younger Lee an advice, would be to not be scared of making mistakes, because I think that we live in a society where everybody wants to be perfect. I don't mean be naive and don't think, but it's okay to make mistakes. And I would definitely give myself that advice, not to be too harsh on myself as younger, because I used to be very, very hard on myself. Yeah. And just tell yourself that it's okay to make mistakes, and because without mistakes, you don't live and you don't grow. So
that is some good advice to give to young Lee. So on a slightly different topic, you are also an established influencer on Instagram. So I was wondering, how did you break into the world of social media? Did it sort of happen naturally? Were you like a viral success? What was your story with Instagram?
So I think that so a few years ago, when I moved to Israel, I was, and that was actually what really started my career there. I was part of a big reality show in Israel called Amazonas. It's about surviving in the Amazon jungle. I don't know if you have seen it, but that was a few years ago. And back then, Instagram was not the same like it is today, like with branding and stuff like that. And I didn't do a lot of branding back then, but because of that reality show, my followers in Israel just started to grow more and more because it was a very popular TV show. And then brands start to reach out to you, and then I started to do campaigns with brands in Israel, and it just started to grow more and more. So I think, yeah, the answer to that is it's because of the TV show I was in.
It gave you good exposure.
Yeah, definitely.
That's very cool. Well, you are currently living in Sydney, Australia now with your fiance, Eitan. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And secondly, can you tell us a little bit about what life is like there, especially amidst the coronavirus?
Yes. So I moved here in the beginning of 2020, and I came in a not that good of a timing because there was the bushfires here. I don't know if you heard about it. It was all over the news. The fires were extreme here. It was like I couldn't even go out on the balcony, even though it was far away from Sydney. We live in Sydney. But I couldn't even go out of the balcony because the air, like I could barely see down to my street because the air was so, like, there was so much, what do you call it? Like,
fumes are in it. Like it was like heavy, I know what you're saying.
The fires, like
it's
terrible. Yeah. And you could barely breathe. It was so bad for your lungs. So we barely went outside. It was really, really terrible. And I can't imagine what other people have been going through in other parts of Australia where all the fires because we were far away. Sydney was really far away, but still, every time the wind blows, the fires, like we could feel it over here. So it was terrible. And then with the lockdown, it's not been an easy start, also work-wise, but, in many ways, I feel very lucky to be here because I think that Australia is one of the countries that have been handling COVID really well. I mean, we live here in Sydney now, and it feels like there's nothing. I mean, nobody's wearing masks. Everybody's sitting downstairs having coffee. It's very, very easy. Like other parts of Australia, they're really in a bad shape, like Melbourne and stuff like that. So I still haven't seen all of Australia like I wanted to, but I have time and it will come. I'm just really sad that I'm not able to fly at the moment because I really want to go to Denmark and Israel.
Right, I'm sure. Wow, what a challenging time, but it sounds like you're handling it well.
Yeah, we have to be positive,
One of my favorite questions that I like to ask everyone is to tell us a bit about your daily morning rituals. I find like the way you start your day like determines the success. So what are some of your secrets to your morning?
That was exactly all I've been talking about today because I was shooting something today and that was all about my morning ritual and stuff. But yeah, so I like to wake up early, quite early, like around 7. I don't like to sleep long. I feel like I'm missing my day when I'm sleeping more than until 9 o'clock. So I like to wake up. I do my sports. I love kickboxing. So I'm trying to work out almost every day. I'm changing it up, either kickboxing, Pilates, or yoga. And then I usually have breakfast after that. And then it all depends on my day. So if I'm like today I was shooting, but I'm not shooting every day, but I'm always making sure that I'm keeping myself busy also with studies. I was taking a psychology course during COVID, just to keep busy. And I'm studying Hebrew. And also right now I'm starting to study Arabic. because I wanted to learn a new language.
Oh,
So
you
I'm
speak.
sure that I'm busy. I'm busy during the day. Like I don't like to sit and do nothing. I love to read and learn new things, and so yeah, I'm keeping busy. It all depends, on the schedule.
Yeah, that's good. They say if you rest, you rust. So it's good to keep busy.
That is true. I love that sentence.
How many languages can you speak now?
So I speak Danish, English, Hebrew. It's not perfect, but now I'm starting to study Arabic because I find it so interesting. It's good if you're an Israeli to be able to speak Arabic, I think. So, yeah. I've been watching too much Fauda. I'm so fascinated by the actors. I mean, when you're an actress, it's as many languages you can speak, the better. So
right.
I speak more and more languages.
That's awesome. No, I agree with you. And also, for your resume, each language you speak, you're opening new doors. You're right.
Absolutely.
And also doing Hebrew Ulpan as we speak, so we can have on our Hebrew.
That's good. Good.
All right, so to wrap up our chat, unfortunately, because I'm really enjoying it, but
me too.
It's clear that you have already achieved so much, but you strike me as someone that's eager to do more. Can you share with us a few of your future aspirations?
Sure. Yes, I'm always striving to do more. So actually, just to mention, last year I started a clothing company with my mother. And I mean, she was helping me just with the design. It was my company, but because she's a well-known designer in Denmark, I come from a family where both my parents are in the fashion industry. So I started, I was like getting help from my parents, with this fashion company. But it didn't really work out because I was about to sign a deal in China with some investors and to launch it in China, and then COVID started. I was so happy I didn't do it. And you know what? After that, I just decided to put it on the side and not focus about it. And yeah, but I'm definite. I have some dreams for the future. My dream is at some point to start my own skincare brand because I love skincare products. So to do that, of course, I want to... So I shot my first movie last year, which will premiere actually beginning of next year. So that's really exciting. Yeah, it's really exciting. So I want to focus more on acting and more movies. And me and my fiance, we just started our own production company. That was a decision we made during COVID. So a lot of good things has always also happened from this. So yeah, I just want to focus on film, cinema, maybe a skincare brand later on.
I love the skincare. So, I feel like that goes hand in hand with daily morning rituals, like a good skincare routine.
I know. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Lee. Thank you so much for your time. It's been so cool chatting with you.
Thank you for your time. It was so nice.
Thank you.
Bye.